Barak Shalom, everyone. It's Out the Box Kingdom. Talk with me, Out the Box Kingdom. I hope you all are having a wonderful yom. I just wanted to come on here right quick because I wanted to kind of add on into the message I gave earlier as far as, Yeshayahu chapter 59 and Yah really speaking that he's been holding his hand out. And it still goes back into many are called, for a few are chosen. He's been holding his hand out yum by yum. And instead of people coming out of Babylon, coming out of the synagogues of High Satan, they rather keep being like Simon the sorcerer and going to these conferences because they're chasing after vanity mantles, or should I say mantles that hasn't even been imparted into them, you know, because they're combating with some other prophetic voice, or they want to be heard, or should I say seen, with these huge platforms. But as I was sitting here, I was up here just listening to the video that he had me to give a few minutes ago, reading that scripture about their rewards and those that have chosen him, the rewards that they're going to receive. And y'all was just reminding me way back in 2018, 19 is when I pretty much took this walk serious. I was in Christianity, but like I said, a lot of us had to start somewhere. That was Yah ordering our steps. He knew that we was going to be in it, but he gave us a way out. He was calling us out, you know what I'm saying? And, even in that time, he was helping me to see that those that I trusted or I looked up to shepherd me in the way I'm supposed to go, they became jealous and envious, or they would try to sabotage, or should I say manipulating, dominant, and controlling, and tried to bring all kind of confusion by saying I wasn't submitting enough. When I began to ask questions, you're being disobedient enough, but you're being disobedient, but yet they didn't mind just volunteering or told me that I was going to be teaching the next following Monday or the next prayer line. I would be on the prayer line for hours, and the days I didn't show up, oh, you missed out on the move of the Ruach Ha Qodesh, just monitoring spirits, monitoring you, but then trying to steal what you're doing, but didn't have no intentions of helping you grow. But this is not what this video is about. Back around that time when I was in this ministry, which I'm not going to put the name on here or the people, but back when I think COVID was going on, I'll never forget the Ruach Ha Qodesh kept telling me what he was calling me to be. But he kept saying, my nation is suffering. Tell my people my nation is suffering. Now, because I was in Christianity, I didn't know no better what he meant about his nation was suffering. But now I know. Now I finally got the aha. Now that I'm in a set apart place in my life, desiring more of his word, I understand what he means now about his nation is suffering. And he's not lying. Because the more that Yashua choose to be a stiff-necked generation, pointing fingers at each other, being prideful and arrogant, chasing after fame and chasing after recognition, as in, I hate to say it, Yashua, but I'm going to put it out here. Y'all put people that can sing and rap on a higher pedestal, and y'all will chase the clout versus really paying attention to those that are really sounding the alarm off on this platform to get your attention, so you are not getting caught up in the crossfires of the judgment that's getting ready to come. And so y'all still going to give you up in your great illusion. A lot of y'all still going to be thinking y'all doing the ways of y'all, and y'all not. And you're not going to know until you done hit that cliff and you done fell off. This is not about popularity. Like I said, Yahushua was not popular. He was about Yah's work. He was about pulling down, uprooting, destroying. But then there was a time to build and to plant. Not a time for being popular and liked. Yahushua was never liked. The only people that liked him was those that were called to be and chosen to follow him and to continue on the work that he has left them to do. Like Yahushua said, greater works that you will do. We're called to do greater works, not being popular. We're called to tear down, to uproot. We're called to set the captives free. We're called to help the blind see. We're called to heal the sick. Are you hearing what I'm saying? But the nation of Yashriel is suffering because, quote unquote, Yashriel want to keep doing their own thing and picking and choosing out of scriptures of what they want to obey, but then want to come on here and be quick to criticize someone that just came out of Christianity or they're very new in this walk. They're quick to point out flaws, but like scripture said, before you call yourself pointing the plank in somebody else's eye, how about you get the plank out of yours? So Yah was telling me the truth. The nation is suffering. He hasn't repeated this in a while because he is awakening Yashriel. However, there's going to be some that's going to remain asleep because they love the grave, or should I say they love the darkness more than they do the light. But then again, the dry bones are awakening. Praise to Abba Yahuah for those that have been obedient and come here and being the willing vessel to speak thus says Yahuah. Even when people have come at you, they have persecuted you, you had to block them. You have to be disassociate yourself. Those that are betraying the image, but yet they're not for him because their lips are speaking his name, but their heart is far from him. Like I said, Yah knows the heart of an individual. Yahushua knew the heart of the individual. That's why he was not fazed when they wanted to come and follow him, because wonder, signs, and miracles would follow him. But the moment he started speaking truth or calling them out on their mess, now they didn't want to follow him no more. So this ain't about clout chasing. This is not being liked, because you're not going to like. Yahushua didn't come to bring peace. He already said it was going to bring division. Okay? But in order for Yashriel to rise up, there has to be obedience. There has to be a reverential fear of Abba Yah. There has to be an honoring of and respect of those that Yah has called to be prophets and prophetesses, because when he tells the prophets and the prophetesses to keep their mouth shut and don't speak another word, there's about to be a spiritual drought in the land. And people are going to be looking for the true mouthpieces of Yah, and Yah going to say, enough. You have sounded the alarm. You have blown the shofar enough. They don't want to listen. So it's time to take heed. Instead of spending your time here on TikTok, now's the time to really know what you're called here to do, what your giftings are, what your talents are, and seeking Yah and say, what is it that you want me to do with this? Because there's going to be a great fall in the way. Because like I've said plenty of times in the other videos, this walk is not for everybody. And it's not for the faint and weary. It's for those that want to be strong and courageous and rather be fearless and speak thus says Yahuah, whether they're going to be liked or not. That's what this walk is for. Those that don't mind being set apart, because they know Yah is going to come through for them regardless if they mishpakaste or not. They're not looking to fit in. They're looking to be set apart. And they're looking to get that well done and loyal, faithful servant. You have done a well done job in their rest. That is what they're looking forward to. So on that note, y'all be baruch as always. Shalom.